The title of the gLocal 2026 panels and all the overall title is about evaluation, evidence, and trust in the age of AI. I'm sure you've been hearing a lot of work that is happening around AI, a lot of people sharing what they are doing with AI. This panel is going to be a little different. Setting a little different, setting ourselves a little different. Of course, they're in the context, but we're setting ourselves a little differently, a space for reflection. This panel will be a conversation between young evaluators, between some seasoned evaluators, and some emerging and not so emerging evaluators like me, or in between on the continuum, neither young and emerging nor completely emerged. So we are going to have an honest conversation on what are we doing around the AI space? How are we using it? And I'm going to quote one of our young evaluators who has said, "Does AI make me less effective?" Is that a conversation we want to have? Uh, Sessions on gLocal who are talking about AI can help change the way we do evaluation, but it doesn't change the purpose. This is from a new development bank session on AI. They were talking about it. So we are going to discuss continuum between the hype of AI and are we doing it right? Are we using it in the right manner? That is the continuum we are going to cover today, together, all of us together, some of us discussing, some of us participating. That's that's where we are going to concretely place this panel. And thank you again for joining. I have an excellent group of panelists here. I have Samshul from Eval Youth Bangladesh, who's a co-founder Eval Youth Bangladesh, and who was one of the people who came together with the Gender and Equity Social South Asia Network, from where I take my, I belong. I'm a co-team member. And so we came together to co-create this space. And we were joined by other Evaluate India, Evaluate Nepal. So we are happy to have a space which is co-owned by everybody. So I welcome Ashi Rizvi from Evaluate Asia, Evaluate India. She's also an AI and ML development intelligence. She's heading AI and ML at Development Intelligence Unit. We have Samriti Mahajan from Evaluate Nepal, who is also co-leading it and is an evaluation analyst at CGIAR. Welcome, Samriddhi. And we have Mahesh from Gensa, also a youth emerging leader, and who's just won small awards from the GEI, and he's going to talk about it. They're going to talk about it. We have Dr. Sonal Zaveri, who's got decades and decades of experience in evaluation. So welcome, everybody. And I have two more people in the waiting room. Just let me in. Let me admit them. It's always great to have people. More people, the better the conversation. So, Samshul, to take this conversation forward, uh, Samshul is going to talk about conversation on what his experiences are about using AI. And that's what the tone of our first part will be, wherein we will move the framework to understanding what do people need from AI? What is the way forward? And we will end with a few Mentimeter questions to open up the space and have a conversation where we bring you into our conversation. Over to you, Samshul.
Uh, Thank you so much, Amrita, and thank you everyone, and good evening to everyone. And here I am Samsudin Sadi. Already Amrita shared my introduction. So I am working with international NGOs and engaged with Evaluate Bangladesh, and my works mainly involve basically project database and management, monitoring report and supporting evaluations and making sense evidence in humanitarian development context for my entire last 5 years careers. So over the past couple of years, I have found myself increasingly working with AI tools, sometimes by choice and sometimes because the workload almost pushes me forward to use the AI actually. So here I want to share a very honest reflection, not just what works, but also what worries me for last 3 years using AI and the way forward. So if I say about myself journey with AI, and back in 2023, my journey started with AI with hesitation. Somehow I was stuck with some kind of report, so I went to my senior colleagues to get a support from her, and she was suggesting to using ChatGPT, and this was the first time back in June 2023 I learned about ChatGPT, and my first reaction was, why should I rely on AI when I already have this efficient skills actually? But I tried it, and the result was surprising actually, and it didn't replace my thinking, obviously I have to say, and it helped me structure ideas faster. And since then I've been using lots of tools: ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Cloud AI, and recently my office permitted to use the Copilot ACI, which is I am already using for my official purposes. So this is the thinking I have been going for last 3.5 years. So if I say about my day-to-day work, I mainly use AI in 3 areas. For the first of all things, whenever I want to drafting and structuring uh, some kind of reports and proposal and summaries, where AI helps me organize messy ideas, create an initial draft, and also improve flow and clarity for these issues actually instantly. And the second one is I am working with monitoring and evaluation. So I have to deal with lots of data and lots of evaluation reports, and there are some kinds of qualitative data and large amount of text. So I had to work summarizing interview notes and also exacting the key themes, which is much related with my project actually. And then third one is the quick analysis support actually. Looks like whenever someone is getting ideas, a study, you have to provide it by next 1.5 hours, or you have to send it to me by today actually. So that time I instantly go to the AI for generating coding ideas. I use some prompt which is much related with my tasks actually. And the thing is that simplifying I want to try to more simplify this technical explanation, which is much related with my current topics also. This is the things I'm using AI for recent workloads and recent working concern actually. And if I say about what works well me for last 3.5 years for this for using the AI, so I have to say that it significantly reduced drafting the time. and and second one thing is that it's helping me overcome the writer's block. Looks like whenever I want to try to something right, but somehow it's happening again and again. I'm stuck with something, but somehow AI is helping me to drafting it more clearly and more clarity, and obviously improve organizations, my organizational values and reflections, and my organizational ethics for more complex informations. So in fast-paced environment, especially where deadline are tight, actually, this is extremely useful for me, and I'm using it to meet the deadline also. And if I say about the challenges, what challenges actually have been faces, but this is where things get complicated, because behind the efficiency there are real concern actually. I always feel that looks like first of all, the challenges is there are loss of context. Looks like AI often misses the nuances, especially in humanitarian settings. When I was working with the Rohingya refugee context, I have to work with large of data in the Rohingya refugee context and humanitarian perspective. That time I faced this, and also culturally sensitive context. Looks like AI don't know for some instant which is the appropriate for this culture, which is the appropriate for these norms and values actually. That time I used to use so many prompt to identify, okay, you can use this prompt, and this is the cultural sensitivity, and this is the complexity of this community and background actually. And another thing is that risks of bias and misinterpretations. Looks like whenever I'm using the AI, somehow I was saying, yes, you made the mistakes in here. Please go through on it again. So this is the reason actually. Whenever I had very limited time, somehow I was rely on the AI for so many reasons, but somehow there are some biased data and also misinterpretation also. So I was aware about that and I always care for it, which is the real challenges for me. And another thing is the confidentiality and ethical concern. In mail work, we deal with sensitive data, looks like. So whenever I am using the AI, questions always raises those like, where is the data is going? I am using the data and I am giving my data to the AI platform and they are using more sensitive data for their purpose. So are we unintentionally exposing beneficiaries' informations to them? So this is the another challenges actually. And the uh, fourth one actually, personal doubt and professional identity, which I have always said that looks like this is more personal but important. Am I becoming dependent on AI? I always questions myself, and is my analytical thinking weakening? After a full day work, I always think I am always thinking that am I is my analytical thinking is weakening and what would be in the near future actually is AI is replacing my knowledge and wisdom also, and would my organization fully trust this process and will they rely on me in the near future also? So this tension between efficiency and professional integrity is the very real for all of us, I think. Those who are young emerging evaluator and those who are working in the mail profession as a newcomer or as a young professional. So this all of them, but what I have been learned from this, I learned that AI is a supportive tool, but not a decision maker. And I use AI for drafting, structuring, and brainstorming, obviously. But the thing is, when it comes, looks like human judgment, I rely on human judgment because evaluation and monitoring or any kind of report is not just a technical about, it's about people, context, and trust. So I'll conclude my speech by saying another thing is that AI is not something we can ignore. It is already changing how we work. But the real question is not whether we use AI. The question is how do you use it responsibly? And for me, the answer is simple. I think use AI to enhance my work, but never let replace my thinking, my ethics, and my values, and also my responsibility as an evaluator. So, Amrita, over to you, actually.
Thank you, Shamshul. And I will quickly hand it over to Samriti because we are overshooting on time a little bit. Samrit, over to you for your experience.
Thank you, Amrita. Hello everyone. I'm Samriti Maharzan from Evaluate Nepal. I'm based in Kathmandu. And talking shortly about Evaluate Nepal is a platform for young and emerging evaluators in Nepal, which we empower and provide workshop to young and emerging evaluators in Nepal on monitoring and evaluation and indigenous evaluations. So we are working on those kinds of workshop and empowering the young people. So I'm quickly going into the context today we are discussing. So about AI in evaluation, we all are now totally dived into the AI world. Every day we are using anywhere in our field work, in our work, or in our day-to-day lifestyle. So we need AI, we need chat GPTs, Google, and anything, phone for our day-to-day work and our housework work. So in my experience, what I have used mostly is AI is very effective in data entry, counting the numbers, counting the data, summarizing paragraphs. AI is very great in those kinds of work. But what I have found in most that AI is not critical. AI does not critically analyzes the work what we provide because AI just answer our question. If we provide them good prompt with the very nice one, they can provide the exact answer what we are telling them. But if we are just giving them one sentence prompt or just the easy one, AI just answer to our question and does not do any critical analysis what our human touches can do. So in our work, I'm using MaxQDA, a software tool for qualitative analysis. In this software, I do coding, I do paraphrasing and summarizing the document. So, and it is very effective tool for large qualitative data analysis and data coding. But this tool also has AI assistance, which is very effective in our work. This tool shows very good summarizing, paraphrasing, and all. It shows a very time management. AI assistance help data in this software. But what I have found that while doing my work with the AI coding and AI assistant, uh, it did not provide me the critical analysis view, that it just did what we have told them. It's just like the robot or the machine doing the work, and AI did not spot any errors or any mistakes. After the AI does it our work, we need to proofread a lot and spot any errors what AI did not had. So it might sometimes it might make our work double, and it might be burden to us. One time what I have did is, in my work I was coding, and I was managing my time by giving the prompts to the AI assistant. And after what AI has did is that AI provided a lots of coding that it made my work more long. I need to work whole day, which I could have done in 2 hours. So sometimes if we are not very careful and we does not considerate AI prompts, it might make our work more double, or it might make it more burden. It might consume our time a lot. And the second thing I was very it was the biggest challenge for me was the ethical consideration while doing the AI coding, is that sometimes we forget to remove the name of the people. But while we do our coding and analysis, it's by ourselves, we remove the name so that it will be confidential for the interviewee as well, and so that we are using it more properly. But AI does not do in that way. AI does not show its confidential data and just do their work. They does not remove the human name or the organization name or anything. So it has very less information on the ethical consideration and the confidentiality issue, which we need to focus on while we are working with the AI. Also, in the chat GPT, in any other websites of the AI, we need to be very careful while we are directly uploading our documents or sharing the person's name, of the participant's name, because those AI can be very harmful later, because it does not remove the names and everything. So at last, I want to say that AI generated codes are very less fine grained. Later, human needs to refine them, proofread a lot, and spot even the tiny mistakes which AI does not. So, and one of the research published in SAGE journals also proved that 47% of the coded segments were not found to be aligned with the manual coding. There are multiple codings. AI is very effective in our day-to-day work, but it is also very challenging if we does not use it correctly, if we are not properly trained on how to work on AI. So yeah, we need to be very careful and consider our work. Yeah, thank you so much. Back to you,
You.
Amrita.
Thank you, Samriti. Thank you. And two things that resonate between you and Samshul, and I hope my background AI could fix my background also. Something is wrong with my background. I know that, but I'm not being able to fix it. Anyways, is cultural context. You talked about confidentiality. You talked about uh, how can it fix errors? It cannot fix errors. I have to fix the errors. Sometimes, if I am not giving the right prompt, it becomes too long a process for me. So AI can really help, but it can also harm. So, those were the thoughts that you had. And one thing that Samshul was talking about is the question about my professional identity and my critical ability as an evaluator when I use AI. Am I losing out? With those three thoughts, I hand it over to Mahesh to take this conversation forward and share your thoughts. Thank you,
Hi
Mahesh.
everyone. Um, I hope I'm audible. Thank you for Samshul and Samriti. So I'm Mahesh Krishnan. I'm a core team member at Gender and Equity Network South Asia, and I'm a member of the Youth Advisory Council at UN Women on GR40, which is about gender parity in decision-making spaces. I'm also a FIME Small Awards grantee by the Global Evaluation Initiative. FIME stands for Feminist Innovation in Monitoring and Evaluation. About GENSA, GENSA is a regional network dedicated to advancing gender equality and equity focused evaluation practices and social justice in South Asia. So, if you are an evaluator from the South Asia region working in the gender space, we invite you to join the community. So, I'm just sharing the link here on the chat. Okay, so coming to the topic of today's discussion about the AI hype. So I would like to pose a thinking question first. We know that AI automates things, but does AI automate inequality? So, from an evaluation perspective, we can look at it from three different angles. One is how do we evaluate AI in itself? How do we use AI for evaluation? And what is the role that AI is playing in the, let's say, hiring processes of evaluators? So the question of how do we evaluate AI tools in itself. So recently I did a capstone project under the Evaluate Global Mentorship Program, and it was on evaluating youth user experiences of LinkedIn's consumer facing AI features. Does it make you more employable? So the logic of this project was that AI tools like let's say ChatGPT or LinkedIn, they have a social transformative vision. So why not we think about evaluating the design of the AI tools in itself? So for this particular project, we looked specifically at LinkedIn's AI features and what would an evaluation look like. So LinkedIn's AI features like smart matching and job match and its AI drafting cover letters, since LinkedIn is a business, they tend to start off with the profit making outcome. And that influences the design of the AI in itself. For example, we have a paywall that blocks deserving applicants from accessing these features itself. And let's say there are existing gender biases in the society, uh, and that could reflect in these AI tools because it's constantly like the if you look at the life cycle of an AI tool, it's evolving to suit the needs of the customers when the outcome is profit making. So the question is, are transformative elements of human systems reflecting in these AI tools? And that can be possible only if like there is an evaluation done on it. So the idea that was proposed as part of that project is that if we embed evaluation as a process of the AI tools lifecycle, then the AI tools itself can evolve better and avoid automating inequality. So the next question is that how do we use AI for evaluation? So as we all know, AI relies on algorithms and pattern recognition. It misses out a very significant part of human beings, which is the semiotic nuances. For example, if there is a flag, right? We know that flag is technically a cloth, but depending on the person seeing it, we decide whether to hoist it or to burn it. So human beings are sense makers and meaning makers. And does AI really capture the semiotic nuances? So this is something that I highlighted under my projects in the 5Me Smaller Words program, in the framework which I suggested, which is the holistic transformative evaluative framework. It is about how to, in evaluation, how do we avoid relying too much on the syntax of it, and bring in contextualization and localization as part of evaluation. So there are two ways to look at how to use AI in evaluation. One is you can be a pilot or be a passenger. If an evaluator relies on AI to be the pilot, that is, if an evaluator relies AI to identify patterns, we might miss out this semiotic nuances. So the key is that we have to be the pilot, AI is the passengers. And another thing that I would like to highlight here is that when we look at capacity development for evaluators, uh, it shouldn't be just about giving the evaluator training on how to use these tools, but also to understand where the evaluator needs to be cautious about AI, like being aware of where AI can bring errors, right? And the last part is how do we use AI for hiring evaluators? So I'll just give an example. Let's say, how does LinkedIn use its AI to make the job match, right? It looks at our work experience, publications, or whatever, like our tagline and so on. So now there is one missing element in this: lived experiences. So let's say there is a feature where I can add my lived experiences, but it will be hidden for the public, but like AI might be able to parse it. Uh, and then there is an evaluator looking for a certain lived experiences. AI can make that connection, right? So this is one potential of the AI, like a good side of the AI which could be used. Because what I have noticed is, like the other day I met like somebody while I was on a cafe. She's a trans woman, and she was asking me what she can do in her career. And so I just suggested that she could explore LGBTQI focused mentorships and scholarships to get a master's somewhere. And so she was like, "Oh, but I did not like undergo my full like procedures, so am I eligible?" So the thing is, people are generally not aware of how valuable their lived experiences are, right? So this is one potential like which AI can use. Yeah. So when we talk about hiring for evaluation projects, I think this aspect is very important. So these are some of the thoughts I had on the topic.
Okay, thank you so much, Mahesh. I think I'll take the pilot and the passenger reference that you took. I think brilliant reference, and the way you were talking about embedding evaluation of the AI tool as well. I think that really takes the segue that we are going to take into talking to Arshi and Sonal here. Arshi comes with a developer background and also uses AI in her evaluations. So, Arshi, would you give us a perspective from both the ends? And then we can come to Sonal, who can give us a more nuanced perspective from an evaluator who's been, who didn't start off during AI, started off decades back and has adopted AI. So, if you could have like a quick conversation around this, what are we facing? How can we deal with it in the most meaningful manner using some of the conversations that you've already had? Over to you, Ashi, and then Sonal.
Thank you very much, Amrita, and all the speakers here. So I think I sit in a very unusual sit on this panel because I wear two hats right now, and honestly, they argue with each other a lot. Like if I'm talking about as a developer of AI tool and then as a evaluator, so every time I have this discussion about ethics, about responsible use of AI, even the development of the AI tools. So I have built AI tools and I have used them as an evaluator. So let me be honest about both, what actually works, where it fails apart, and what I have come to believe sits in between. So what works actually, like for example, coding, summarization, and translation in monitoring and evaluation. So the qualitative coding, AI has genuinely helped people to move faster. It gives the momentum. Like, for example, when you have 200 interview transcripts or FGD transcripts, AI can do a first pass thematic sort that would take human teams days or weeks of time. Obviously, we need a good prompt, and this should be done under the supervision of humans. So it gives you a start structure to react to. Not so you are not starting with the scratch, but you are starting with the version 1 of any program, and that reaction is where the evaluator's judgment kicks in. If we talk about summarization, AI is useful for condensing long policy documents, donor briefs, reports, literature review. It saves time before stakeholder meetings. It works as long as you read what it produces critically. Sadi has covered that part. So, and the very important part is where it fails, right? Like, for example, if you are doing a summarization, flattens noise, right? When a community member says something with hesitation, with silence, with cultural weight, AI turns it into a clean bullet point, right? So the discomfort disappears there, the complexity disappears there, and in evaluation, that complexity is often the most important finding. If we talk about even translation loses its meaning, I have seen AI confidently translate a phrase from a local language and completely miss the cultural context embedded in it. The word was right, the meaning was wrong, and nobody flagged that particular thing, and it looks fine on paper. So if we also talk about coding imposes patterns, right? AI codes what it recognizes from its training data, but the global south evaluation context, the categories that matter, the lived realities, the local power dynamics may not exist in that training data. So AI codes around them, and they becomes invisible. The failure is not always loud. That what makes it dangerous. So giving the developer a lens to this now as a someone who built these tools. This is why I believe so strongly in community co-development, not as a nice principle, but as a quality control. So when I built with AI, the first question I ask is not what can this tool do. It is who is in the room when we design this particular room, this particular thing. So one of the recent example is I have built one AI assistant for elected women representatives, sarpanch panch mahilaएं, and before this idea generates, I sat with them and discuss what exactly you want. So the co-development part is very important if we see with the lens of developers. And if we talk about the evaluator lens plus the space in between the developer and evaluator, so when I step into my evaluator role and I look at the AI, I really get uncomfortable in a productive way. So I start asking whose data trained this, what biases got baked in quietly. When AI summarizes a qualitative interview, what does it flatten? When it translates, what cultural meaning does it drop? So this is why I keep coming back to hybrid intelligence, like human plus artificial intelligence. And I have written about this through my work with UNFPA. There's a blog on it. It's not AI versus human. It's about designing the collaboration intentionally. So what does the human bring that AI cannot? Is the lived experiences, ethical judgment, accountability, relationships. What does AI bring that amplifies the human, right? Speed, scale, pattern recognition, kind of stuff across the volumes of the data no human can hold. So the global south doesn't need AI tools designed elsewhere and handed down. It needs code development, co-creation, locally grounded, ethically anchored hybrid systems, where the community is not just a data source, but a design partner. So at the end, so my honest take is AI in evaluation is not hype, it's not harm, it is a choice. The tool is not the problem. The problem is forgetting that we are the evaluators, not the machine. And the quality of that choice depends on who gets to make it. Let's make sure it's not just the developers. Let's make sure it's the communities too. So yeah.
Over to you, Sonal. I think there's enough more that she's brought in for you to give your thoughts in. Thank you so much, Arshi, for those thoughts.
Thank you. So I think there is so much that has been said. So what I will do is I will come from my perspective, and as you rightly said, Amrita, I've had a very, very long career, almost 35, 40 years now in the field of development. So I started at a time when we were using paper and pencil. We didn't, when the good old typewriter, and then moved on to computers and then AI. So the fact is that I think AI has come to stay. So we might as well embrace it. And all of us, whether you're young evaluators, you're mid-level evaluators, or senior ones like me, all of us are using it. And I think one of the good things that I appreciate is that initially people wouldn't say I'm using AI, but now people are very frank and they're talking about which AI is better for what have I used for what. And I think that keeping that conversation very frank and transparent is very important. So I'm the co-editor of the Journal of Multidisciplinary Evaluation, and we're developing articles for that. And we grappled with this: how do we actually address AI? Because we know people are using it, so we decided to have that self-disclosure. What did I use it for? And we gave them several scenarios. Did I use it for grammar, for editing, for little more substantive? It did help you write, and so on. So we had several, ideas, and we recommended that people should do that. What I will say is that I was part of one article where we decided not to use it at all, at all. And I think that, and I'm going to give this illustration because I think it's important to understand that AI hides your voice. AI hides the way you speak. AI, we all have a certain way of presenting our ideas. AI does not do that. It makes it all uniform. And so that creativity which comes in the way we write, we present, all of that is lost when we are using AI. So I think that is something, it's a choice that you can make. I will say that AI has definitely been very efficient for us, and a lot of you have mentioned that. And so I think in terms of efficiency, it's fantastic, whatever you wish to do. But being cognizant of the fact that when you are being efficient, and especially when workloads are high, when you have lots of things to do, it's very tempting to use it. But having said that, I also wanted to mention that from my own years of experience, what I have found is that it doesn't give you insight. It summarizes. It does not give you insight. And where does that insight comes from? It comes from, some of you have mentioned, being with the people, the co-creation, and so on. But I want to go one step further. It's your experience on the field, your being with people, going to different contexts, working in different sectors, engaging with different methodologies, reflecting yourself. What did I learn? What did I, how am I connecting the dots? How are they connecting the dots? So you could summarize your interviews. Now, you may have, nowadays the AI note taker enters our Zoom rooms before the person enters. So you may get all the notes and everything summarized for you. Supposing you're in the field, you probably may not record, because many people don't like that. It's ethical, confidential, and all those aspects. And so you're making your notes. just think how you're making your notes. When you make your notes, you are emphasizing something, you're catching a nuance. You are saying, oh, I'm hearing this from someone, but I didn't hear it from this person because of that experience or that context. Who is going to capture that? And so that experience, I want to put that into context. It's not one experience, it's hundreds of experiences. And I really would like to say that that is something that we should not lose. We are living in the global south, we are living in the South Asian region, where we have so much opportunity to learn from development, to be part of the development process. Why should we let go of this opportunity to learn from the field, to analyze and be reflexive, and to be able to understand in a terms of a practical wisdom? I'm not talking about capturing data. I'm talking about the wisdom that comes by going through different situations, evaluations, contexts. And as you all know, every evaluation is so different when you're in the field. But if you are doing it remotely and from the office, it's pretty much cookie cutter. So what is it that you value in that? What is it that you bring as a professional when you're using AI? And I just wanted to give an example. So I recently did a country program evaluation, and I was working also with young evaluators who are very good, very snappy in terms of using, different tools. But when I enter a room and I'm speaking to somebody, I can catch that nuance. I can get that insight very quickly. And I know exactly what are the strategic ideas that we need to bring out. Strategic. I'm not talking about the details, the strategic. What are that big picture ideas that we need to address, and how is that relating? And as I said, connecting the dots. So I think that value that we have, we should not lose. So yes, efficiency, great, but some of this experience that we are having as a personal, as a person, is something that we should not let go of. We talked a lot about ethics, and so I don't want to repeat what others have said, but I also want to talk about a certain other type of ethics. So I feel that those evaluators now, young emerging, who are not able to get the sort of training or exposure to different AI tools, and they're changing all the time, are going to be kind of left behind. And that's an example of an opportunity. It's also an example of cost. As you see, most of these AI tools, and I'm using them, they make you go into a paid version. And what is the cost to somebody coming from the global south? I think we need to recognize that. Some are free, but there are certain limitations, and there are certain boundaries beyond which you cannot go. So I also want to think about, what are we trying to encourage? We are also fueling the economy from the global north, who are making tons of money on our backs. One thing that I appreciate is that, we all come from the vernacular. Some of us think in our mother tongue, in our local language. And so when we have to write, it's a problem. So AI has made it very, very convenient. We put in our things, we said, come on, please edit. And so I think for many of us, that is an advantage. It's also maybe something that I was talking to one of the professors at a university in India, and they said that, I generally go through 7, 8 drafts, but now I go through just one because everything is so well packaged and put together. But again, the question is, what's in that package? What is it that you have learned, and what is that wisdom or insight that you are drawing, not to present to somebody, but for yourself? So when I want to ask that question for AI is, what is it in it for me and my learning and my understanding, rather than talking about, I did my work well, or, I produced a report and so on and so forth. I also wanted to say that with AI, there is a bit of a danger that says, I know everything, because it gives you an answer. I know everything. Whereas if you were using more traditional means, you would probably start with saying, I really don't know. And I really need to explore more. So where is that curiosity? And where will that take us? And I think it's really important. Again, an example. I was talking to someone and said, we had to develop a survey for some project. So I just talked to a lot of my juniors and said, this is it, we have this. We went for lunch, came back, the survey was ready. No critical engagement, no discussion, no thinking about what, needs to be there, what not. No, just spit it out. And we have done that. So the question of I don't know and I need to learn. Again, I'm saying that AI destroys that personal growth that we need for ourselves. I wanted to also say that one of the things of our profession, which is so unique, is that it's human-centric. And many professions say that, are we going to be displaced? I personally think we cannot be displaced if we conduct our professional expertise in the way it's supposed to do, which is engaging with the community, engaging with people, getting out there, going into the field, learning from them. No AI can replace that. So I think in some sense, our profession, if we maintain it the way it is supposed to be maintained and to enable that growth, it's not going to make us redundant. It's going to make us more valuable if we emphasize these qualities in ourselves. So I cannot tell you, and I don't know what your experiences have been, but when I go out into the field to collect data, to talk to people, to try out different methodologies, adapt them, because every time we're adapting, right, our context, it makes our mind agile. It makes us so tuned with our context, understanding so many different nuances. I mean, we are truly privileged as evaluators to have these experiences and to be able to engage with people to make life better for all of us, for them, for us, and all of us. I mean, where is that privilege and how can AI ever replace that? So I'm going to not go on further and happy to take questions, but I just wanted to say that we are so enriched with what we have. Let's not lose it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonal. Quick takes. I mean, it's brilliant to be on this panel. I think from understanding the nuances of lived realities to bedding evaluation to constructs of, community-led co-development of AI, evaluating AI systems to what Sonal was saying, not losing our values, not losing our curiosity. Very, very, very simple, but very rooted, not losing our curiosity as evaluators. And we are here to stay. We're here to stay. We need to also take this forward. So I'm going to just quickly do a quick take around from all of you to say, what do we need to go forward? And these will be quick takes. Samshul, Mahesh, Samriti, quick takes from you to say, what do you need to go forward meaningfully? Then we will open this floor to our participants and ask them as well how they are using, what do they need. Then we have a quick take on what do we need to go forward. Some have been already discussed, but quick takes. Over to you, Samshul. What do we need to move forward? We're talking about professionalizing this space. We are talking about evaluator capacities. Sonal was just on a panel on evaluator capacities. So what is it that you need to take this forward? Quick takes.
Thank you so much, Amrita. So if I say about the quick text, so I think first of all, I will say that we need a clear organizational guidance which will empower us as a young emerging evaluator or any professions, middle aged, they can use it so proficiently. And the second one, I will say what Sonalji also said, that training on responsible AI use, which would be more effective for us. And the last one, I'll say ethical and methodological framework for using the AI. So I think these three is more important. Last but not least, and safe and what can I say, context sensitive use. This four from my side.
Anything to add, Mahesh and Samriti? What are the quick takes? Yes, Mahesh.
Yeah, so Sonalji gave a really good analysis of the discussion, and some of the points which she mentioned about AI being like I know it all, and like it lacking that human curiosity, and evaluators bringing in that human centricity into the picture. So I would like to add on that maybe we could think about like the way I see it, it is anything and everything that a human being creates, it's kind of like it's not it's bits it they are also humans. Everything like it can be a machine, but the thing is it would be having like bits and parts of the creator. So AI is also human, but it is not like a full human, right? So maybe we could think about what are those elements that is missing in an AI that an evaluator brings in, like the transformative elements of human beings, the human centricity, curiosity, and then we could maybe build on that. So that is one key takeaway.
Then, thank you. Anything, Samriti, you would like to add in terms of moving ahead?
Yeah, for the young and emerging evaluator, first they need to know the importance of confidentiality while we are working. They need to cross-check any work they do with the AI assistant or AI coding or AI analysis. They need to double check the work and provide the good prompts, the effective prompts which could work more effectively in their work. So why should not completely trust the AI work. Yeah, they need to proofread everything, and spot any errors they find it. Yeah, over to you, Amrita.
Thank you. So I will come back to you, Sonal and Ashi. First, I'll go to our participants, and we are opening a Mentimeter room for all of you. These are the two questions. I'll share the Mentimeter slide so that we can keep seeing what people are talking about. The first question is, how are you currently using AI in evaluation? The second is, what support do evaluators need to use AI more meaningfully? We would like you to go to menti.com, use this code, and start engaging with these two questions. We will take these two questions and inputs that we've already received, conclude our session to have more meaningful conversations as we take our session to its meaningful conclusion. Anybody has a problem, please let me know. We can also help you in any way. If you go to menti.com and put this code in, you should be able to access it. So what I will do is I will close this and I will open my Mentimeter slide so that I can start seeing, and then we can also keep uh, helping and others who, just a moment, who cannot access it. I don't think anybody is on the slide as yet, so I will start sharing the slides. Maybe that will help you access these. You can also use this QR code or go to menti.com and put this code in. There are two questions. Some people have started writing. The first one is about an open answer and open questions. The second one is a word cloud that will come out. What support do you need? So first question, people have started engaging. Be really nice to have your thoughts. Those who've engaged with the first question, great. If you could engage with the next one as well. Hmm. We'll wait for another 2 minutes and then it over to our panelists to get their takes and their conversation on this. We have only 7 people who've engaged. We have 15 participants. Would really encourage everybody to please share your thoughts. Okay. I would really encourage, yeah, now we are getting another person coming in. We'll give the minute. Got 8 people now. The minute. It will be great to have all 15 of you participate. Um, can I ask Sonal,
Mhm.
Ashi, to give your thoughts on the way ahead, especially in terms of this slide where evaluators are talking about the support that they need to use AI more meaningfully. How do we take this forward? We can have a number of conversations on issues that are there, and I know Ashi, you've talked about some of them. How do we institutionalize this? How do we take this forward? How do we train people? Because there are questions on training, questions on support. So any thoughts? And then we can open up this entire session to questions and this conversation then a little more meaningfully forward. Over to you both.
Okay, so Amrita, I'm going to be a bit provocative. What I'm
Yes.
seeing in front of me is a lot about, how we can actually use AI more meaningfully, as the question says. So it's about accuracy, ethical training, prompt engineering. A lot of it is about AI. And so I wanted to be provocative and say, what is it that we should do that is not AI? So currently,
Absolutely.
because this generation right now, all of you here, are at the cusp of a huge change in our history, right? And in the craft, evaluation craft. So for me, it is that, AI is capturing all the past and giving you all of this. And so we require the training and everything that we see on the screen here, but it cannot capture the present and it cannot capture our future. That is not possible. So we do have skills right now, and everybody here has those skills, current skills, which we need to preserve, we need to value, we need to be careful that they don't become redundant. And those skills we need to take care of. So, no matter what AI training is required, let us ensure that we equally emphasize those skills which is not AI driven, which is about facilitation, engaging with people, learning from them, observation, how to actually deal with if I'm in a talking to others. How do I actually understand what's going on in their lives? How do I adapt? How do I change? All of that, we have to make sure that it doesn't atrophy. And sometimes I wonder if the next generation of young evaluators who only know about AI and who enter into AI at this stage, will they not get the opportunity which all of you have to at least know how to do this and go about in doing this? So for me, I wanted to be provocative at that. And I also wanted to say that AI has zero value system, zero. So those values only we can bring. Again, can we emphasize that? Can we talk about that in our training? What are our values to bring the social good for the common good? Can we talk about that? And that is both our responsibility and our privilege. So can we put that on top of the agenda along with the other things that I said? Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Over to you, Ashi.
Yeah, thank you. So, look at what this room just showed us, and I just want to respond to this directly. People are using AI for interview transcript, data cleaning, summarization, and even budgeting and evaluation design template. And one response stopped me. I don't use AI for evaluation. I use it to learn what my evaluation lens should be. So that person just described hybrid intelligence without naming it. So using AI to sharpen your own thinking, not to replace it. That is exactly the space I believe in. But then the challenges like generic outputs, contextualization issues, expensive, not trustworthy. Someone said they still end up redoing the analysis themselves anyway. So that trust gap is the most honest finding of tonight, and it is not irrational, it is earned. Now the word cloud, if we see context sensitive data ownership, limitations rightly trained to AI, this is not a technological problem. So this is a capacity, ethics, and power problem. So three things for the path forward. One is context sensitivity must be built in, not aided later. So generic tools producing generic outputs that miss local realities is not efficiency, it is expensive disappointment. Second is data ownership and confidentiality are non-negotiable. If a evaluator cannot safely use AI with the community voices and data, that is a design failure, not a user failure. As someone who builds these tools, I take that responsibility seriously. And the third one is hybrid intelligence is the answer. So this is a kind of tool, and we should be aware how to use that in a proper way. Not AI replacing the evaluators, not evaluators refusing to use AI, but an intentional collaboration where the evaluator leads, the community co-creates, and AI serves as a tool, where AI sharpens your lens, as that participant said, but never holds it for you. So this is what even the Tokyo Call for Action ask us: professionalize the workforce, strengthen ethical framework, ensure evaluation serves accountability and democracy, and AI must be held to that same standard. So this room is ready. What evaluators need now are not more tools. They need framework, ethics, communities of practice worthy of their caution. Let's build those from the global south on our own terms. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashi. I would like to use these final, few minutes that we have. We have about 15 minutes to throw open the session. We have team participants now, including us. Anybody wants to ask a question, anybody wants to have a conversation on things that we've been discussing, any clarity, any clarification. This is a reflexive and a conversational space that we've opened up. We are going to open it up further. Questions, anything that you would want to ask, discuss, talk about, please feel free. Panelists can respond. Anyone who wants to take the... Yes, please go ahead. One is Dawa. Let's go ahead. Mute yourself and
Thank you, Amrita. Bawa here, working as a male in ASI, Adam Smith International. So it's not a question, just a reflection of the whole session that I'm so glad I took my time and attended this meeting. It was so fruitful, so helpful to understand the contemporary world of AI that we are going into. And it's definitely going to help us, the evaluators, as well as the caveats that you guys have raised. It's like so practical in this world. So I'm just very thankful for this conversation and happy to be part of it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nabila. You have to unmute yourself, Nabila.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Actually, first of all, this was a really relevant conversation for like my job and myself. I'm a person who doesn't talk much about what she's doing about her work. She tries to finish her job on her own, and obviously she uses AI. The fact is, the question that was raised in here, that was really insightful, especially Sonal ma'am, what she said about it. Like I was thinking about a lot. Like, how can AI replace human? It is not possible, because when I use AI, I see a lot of flaws. So I am using AI with my blind understanding, but I do think as the world is going really, really too fast, the expectation from our bosses, they want the report as soon as possible, and they're getting it from others. So if I give time and use my own human brain and take 2 days more, I will be lagged behind. So I would say that we need to combine these two in a way so that we don't lose our creativity, which is Samshul Bhai already said that he is worried, like what will happen? Will AI reduce my creativity? And that is also my question. Will it? And the Sonal ma'am's the provocative things that she said also, it is really nice. I'm so impressed. Thank you, and very happy to be part of it.
Thank you, Nabila. Thank you. Anybody else who wants to questions, thoughts? Yes, Richa.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you for this amazing session. Uh, I do have a thought that I want to share since I am an independent evaluator, but also an academician. So, using AI like softwares like Atlas TI and, doing qualitative analysis, if I look at it with the academician side, what challenges we are facing right now is that when this content, even if it's completely human written content, or if you have used AI just to, code some data and then you're interpreting it in your own ways, softwares like Turnitin, when you put your pieces into them, and some of the times even in the industry, people do want to look at reports and do a plagiarism check and do an AI check on those reports. Arshi has been part of that process as well last year when we had IECC. So when we are putting these reports and these documents into such softwares which can detect AI content, it is a lot of time picking up content which is actually not AI generated. And that is happening because people lack the skill of understanding AI, that how AI looks into patterns of writing and some words and algorithms. And I think, if I'm not wrong, there have been certain lists by organization like Forbes wherein they have said that if you're a person who is put to AI checks and plagiarism checks a lot, there are certain words to avoid. So I think that kind of training is somewhat missing, wherein people don't understand that even if we are writing it. So since I'm an academician also, there were students who I closely monitored and who had written all of their reports on their own, but still AI was picking their content as AI generated because they didn't had enough training to understand how does AI detection works. So I think that is another skill set that is missing, and it's very important for evaluators because I think pretty soon a lot of organizations are going to start checking everything through these softwares, because they want to see who is actually doing human content and who is actually just relying 80% on 100 or 100% on AI. So I think this is an emerging skill which is required to understand these AI models to better mitigate. And this is a very hypothetical thing and a thought that I had, but I did wanted to share this because I think this is a very important skill which somehow none of us are acquainted with as of now. So yeah, just wanted to.
Thank you. Thanks, Richard. Well, that's I think, from an academician's point of view, I think it's a very critical space that you have highlighted. Anybody wants to any of the panelists want to comment on this? Otherwise, we don't have any more hands up. We will be able to close the session. Anybody wants to take this conversation forward or have any thoughts around this? No? Okay. Any more questions? No hands are up. So I'm assuming no more questions. Okay. So I think that note, thank you everyone for joining in. And thank you to the panelists for this meaningful conversation. Thank you to Samshul for sharing the space first. We started the conversation together, Samshul, and see how we've created this kind of a space. Thank you to Jensa. Thank you to all the Evaluate chapters for collaborating with us, for coming together. What I take back, things that we are going to close this session on, is the entire context of how we are driving the conversation of AI. Are we using a hybrid mode? We losing out our creativity? We need to build on our curiosity, on our creativity, and use AI for efficiency. That's something that everybody has said over and over again. And we need to be ready to face the fact that, we are not going anywhere. Human competency is needed. Evaluators need to build their own competency and use AI. And I'm going to use Mahesh again over here as use it, pilot it, pilot it well, use it as a tool. So thank you, everybody. On that note, I will close the session. Good night to all the people from South Asia. And amazing session. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.